3, 2, you're live!
Hello, Luca. How are you today?
I am very good, Mina. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. It's been a while.
It has been, has it been a while? I think we were here like yesterday. And, time really flies. Time really flies when you have fun.
It does. Okay.
So let's start as always. Well, thank you for joining. Hello, and thank you for watching live or the replay. Now, Mina, why do we do this?
We do this because we're here to talk about why we build what we build, basically. So let's start with the basic introduction of what we are.
We should.
So
okay. So we talk about stuff on LinkedIn usually. This is a mistake. Sorry. We
are so obsessed with ourselves that we look at ourselves in our own LinkedIn.
It's a slight delay for the live, but anyway. So why do we do this thing? And who are we? Well, we spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, typically talking about AI and Salesforce and AI note taking. But we typically look at it from the perspective of the market, from the perspective of the trends that we see, from cool things that are happening in our ecosystem. We don't spend too much time, hopefully, you have seen, talking about ourselves. So we take this opportunity to update people on what's happening with Vinted. What's our journey looking like? What do we bring? What do we talk about with our clients? What new features? What new messages we have?
Exactly.
And because what is it that we are? What is it that we do? Mina, I ask you.
We do a lot of things. I think the most important thing that we do is that we make sure that all of the data that is captured through a conversation that you've had, it could be an in-person conversation, it could be a video call, it could be any conversation, is captured in a right way and pushed back into your CRM, which is Salesforce. So we integrate natively with Salesforce, and we integrate in a way that captures the data from your conversations into your Salesforce in a way that's most effective for you. So you can use that data in a very effective way. And
impactful. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I think you wrote an article this week or last week about...
Yes. So. Well, thank you for asking. So we're talking, actually, we share our screen in a second. I think, following on what you were saying, we also recently updated our positioning, just slightly. If you noticed, congratulations to you. You've been following closely. But broadly speaking, as Mina was saying, we bring data in context in Salesforce. And so our new positioning, or, the way in which we describe what we do, is that we work relentlessly with the understanding that conversations make Salesforce smarter. And that, part of the conversation really has to do with the AI note taker part, right? So we help people take notes during the meetings, be that in person, video calls, you were saying phone, voice notes, all of that. And we make Salesforce smarter by updating in context, based on insights, based on the conversation.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And on the back of that, we have recently been invited to write a little article. Let me share my screen. With Salesforce Band, with the Salesforce Band community that you probably heard about, and this is our article on here, and we really focus on the fact that conversations data is the key to better Salesforce AI, right? So we start from the end, right? What's the end game? Preparing your data so that when you plug an AI, be that Agentforce, be that Claude, we heard about MCP, all those solutions, they feed on data, they thrive on data in context, and that's what we do. So this article actually starts by introducing conversations as a strategic asset. We work with some companies that have thousands of conversations every week across their entire organization, and that those conversations, those exchanges, the words mentioned, the sentiment, the topics, the market conditions, all of that is crucial when it's actually aggregated. And now with AI, you can interrogate it. Now with AI, you can make sense of it if it is in context, if it's not sitting on an external database. And that's actually the core of this. We go through 5 points that we believe all companies should consider when deciding their conversation strategy, conversational data strategy, AI note taker, whatever that is. Because everybody is using an AI note taker, right?
Everybody is using AI in some way or form, right? Even if you're not using an AI note taker, I've seen customers saying that, you know what, we want to have a centralized database for all our data, because our customers record through, let's say, native transcript. That
They use Copilot or Zoom
and
AI, right?
Google Meet has. So what the users typically do, they download the transcript of the meeting and then generate their own notes, because everybody uses Claude or GPT or Gemini or some form of AI.
Guilty as charged, if you heard about it. That's happening across your organization today, right? I mean, we all know that. And the problem, even with those AI note takers that have a light integration with Salesforce, is that they capture the what, as in, a conversation happened and the stage of the opportunity moved, or the account went from amber to green, but you don't know the why. What happened? What was the exchange? What was the conversation? And then we also make the point that using an external AI note taker doesn't do any good to your data strategy. It doesn't do any good to your organization at large, because you're just creating another data silo. And if that's a problem today,
and
imagine when you plug a big AI.
Also,
right?
Yeah, exactly. And with other note takers, you don't have the level of control that you have with Vinton, for example. So if you want to generate a summary that is your language, how you speak in your organization, how you speak with your customers, how you want your data to be updated,
it's very limited.
You can't prompt everything. You don't have the full control on how that data is generated, how that insight is generated,
which ultimately leads to the missing context that will make an autonomous AI really wonder or hallucinate. I heard that because it doesn't have enough context. It doesn't have enough understanding of where that conversation happened in the big, scheme, in the big, perspective across the entire organization. And then talk about, collaboration, right? So that's why you have Salesforce, because you want to centralize data so that everybody can refer to the same source of information. And when you scatter data across multiple databases, or you enable your team to go and do whatever they want in whatever AI note taker, in whatever LLM to produce insights, then it doesn't really foster a collaborative team.
For example, internally as well. So I might be dealing with an account and talking about customer experience and how they've felt, and those meetings are linked to that account. But Luca talks to them about invoices and more upselling of that account. So when he goes to the account, he has the context of all the conversation that I've had with that account, whereas I'm talking about what they like about our product, what they like
which interestingly is exactly the reason why they bought our clients bought Salesforce in the first place. Right. So it's not like we're reinventing anything. It's just, exactly that. And then ultimately, this is probably my favorite point when I was writing. It was actually suggested by one of our colleagues. And he said, look, there's a point if you're talking about AI note taking and updating information, is that, it's always been the keyboard bottleneck. And it was intriguing for me to find out, more about, especially newer generations really don't liking typing.
I don't like that anymore as well. I'm just talking to
exactly. So, and you've heard of Whisper, right? So it's become a word, right? So I'm whispering my update to my Salesforce through Vinton, and that automatically brings the update in context, and that's bypassing the keyboard bottleneck effectively and going directly, kind of bypassing the interface. Salesforce themselves are talking about no interface.
I mean, it's anymore. Interesting how typing was so much easier 6 months ago, and now every time I have to type something, I'm like, oh my God, do I have to do this? Do I really?
So what we will do, we will link this in the comments of this. Just for your information, if you follow us on LinkedIn, you've seen it before, because it's been out for a couple of weeks now. But it's still worth taking a look and understanding the context within which we operate and how we help our clients overcome some of these challenges and bringing conversations to make their Salesforce smarter.
And now I think we should just sort of go to the Vinton tab, talk about the new features we have and how
switch gear.
Yes, how this article relates to how we work and how it's.
Okay. So for some of you, this is the boring part because that's when we pull up a Salesforce interface and we start. But for some of you, hopefully, and definitely for us,
most of you.
It's most of you. If you're watching, fair enough, right? I mean, it's not that you landed it. This is the most exciting part. I mean, it's not exciting per se. We're looking at a relatively empty demo screen with opportunities. But why is this important? Because as we were saying, how does it work continues to evolve. And actually, Mina and the team have done an amazing job. And I think last time we were here, we presented Field Agent.
Yes.
And we talked about how we go from conversations to structured data, not only as an AI note taker, but as a CRM updater with our Field Agent, the agent that updates your fields.
Yes, and it's like, it's again coming back to the point that we mentioned a while ago. Keeping the end goal in mind is what we do when we're designing the product. So what is it that you would want from a note taker? Yes, my notes are taken. It's all in place, but what's your end goal? As
you're right, because it's almost like, and our clients do the same. You give for granted that an AI note taker will do the AI note taking part, right? So
exactly,
records, transcribe, summarize, and here it is, right? So this is an example, and just to contextualize, day in the life of some of our clients. This is an opportunity sitting empty. You can see here there's a placeholder close date for tomorrow. The stage is, basically the start of the journey. Probability is null or near null, 10%. And we have a few fields, including this interesting, highlights with a description, and then, one of the methodology that we see our clients using. Now, what happened here is that we had a call with a prospect. And we started the journey. So we did a qualification, a discovery call with a client. And Vinton did its job as an AI note taker first. And we can see it here, right? So we have the full transcript. We have the full video recorded. We have the full transcript. This is all captured automatically, by the way, by understanding participants to the call and mapping them back to the records, to the corresponding records in Salesforce. So this all happens behind the scenes, and you have all your data. It's already in Salesforce. It's already contextualized to the right opportunity, to the right contact and account. And you have your summary, you have your email follow-up drafted for you. You extracted some next steps, all things that you expect from an AI note taker. But
we're special.
We're special. So we don't stop there. We heard our clients. They said, look, I have all these insights, and they stack up on top of each other. Every conversation adds a bit of information. Exactly. Every voice note, every phone call, every in-person meeting that I have adds a bit of conversation that moves the opportunity along, moves the account towards health, relationship.
So many use
moves
cases.
The case. So what we do? Well, we have a field agent that captures that information. You can see probably here that we now created some recommendations for this. And this is the new thing. What we presented, I think it was actually exactly the same example, the same exact call in a demo. Was it 3 weeks ago? We presented the field agent that completely autonomously updates. Now, what we are introducing is this new toggle that you control whether you want the update to go automatically because you trust it and because it's then you can edit it, obviously.
Also, because there's some records that you would want to automatically update, because we see a lot of clients updating automatically records like event. So event is a record that most of our clients require their users to update after they've had type of call. Was it internal? Was it external? A lot of things. So those are the records you can automatically update. But then some records, like an opportunity, are the ones you might want to review before you update them.
Exactly. And actually, after a discovery call like this, you can go from a rather empty opportunity all the way to filling it out with interesting information. So we have no change in the close date. We didn't talk about probably a timeline, but there's an interesting stage that moves from, and actually let's show the current value, which current value is probably empty for most of them, but for this one it's prospecting, right? And this is suggesting, well, how about we move it to value proposition? That's my suggestion. The amount wasn't discussed, so we don't have an estimate for that. But we do have some information relating to our budget, timeline, need, authority, our band.
You can also expand it down. So
exactly. You can go through it and you can say, okay, so the prospect. So this is capturing on our behalf, based on the conversation, the automated fields, the ways in which we would go and fill out all of these. And importantly, we also have our authority here. We have next steps. So very important, always an important one to keep an eye on. And we also have a description. This is something that a lot of us use, where you want to contextualize. You want to have an understanding of, broadly speaking, who are we talking to, right? We're talking to Acme as a manufacturing company. They have this and this requirements. This is how they use Salesforce. So that will be a relevant qualification for us, obviously, as we're talking about. And this can all be very easily reviewed. And once we're happy with it, and we can make changes, of course, this is all changeable. But let's say we're happy with it.
An interesting thing about this is because we're so native in Salesforce, it's not just description fields. It could be a date, it could be a multi-select tick list, it could be a lookup field, it could be an integer field. So we support all of the Salesforce fields. So with any other note taker that integrates with Salesforce, you might not get this level of detail into it because we start from Salesforce. We have
most other note takers actually drop a task somewhere hidden in activity.
Because it's fairly easier to update a description field with a lot of text, right? But for us, we take into consideration everything, the type of field, the number of characters allowed in the field. So that's how the suggestions are made. For example, if it's a close date, it would only accept the format that's accepted by you. And as a user, if you, for example, if the field is 255 characters, you can't enter 266 characters here as well. So these are all, exactly.
Right? So this is with all the other guys, not with us. And also it picks up, as you said, it automatically, by the way, when you prepare your little prompts to say, hey, if a close date is mentioned, enter the close date. Hey, if the stage, it will know already what are your stages, how you mapped out the journey without you needing to tell it in the prompt, right? So that's how smart, because it's native. Now we're ready. I'm excited. So if I approve an update, this actually, goes ahead. It takes, care of updating all of that. And now it is, approved. It actually has a name, right? So we have the audit trail ready. And now if I refresh this page magically, let me see. If I refresh this page, what we see is that those suggestions have actually become data, in context. So a conversation, now you see 9 fields have been updated based on this conversation. And now we have next steps laid out in front of us. The close date we said that, it wasn't mentioned, but the stage has changed, the probability has changed. We've updated also all of these fields so that everybody across the organization, we talked about, knowledge is important. And then when an AI note taker comes and takes a look at this opportunity, it has the transcript, it has all the information from the call, but most importantly, it has the elaborated way in which we want, and I'm low battery, look at that. It has the elaborated way in which we want to make sure that we are capturing that information, so we're feeding it with the right information. Now,
and then the interesting thing is that now if another call comes in, you not only have the conversation that you've had, but also all of the data that is already present in the field. So if budget needs to be updated again, it would be the value in the field and the new conversation that you've had. So it's all going to, so we all make sure that the data that we have.
Should we try? Should we try? So I think we did it also last time, right? So we're simulating a new conversation coming in. And as Mina was saying, we need to keep the context of what happened so far and then use the new information to add on top, right? So let me actually kind of do that. I'll simulate. I unplugged the, because I think it was, drawing battery. So if we disconnect, it's because my battery, look at that. My battery is gone, but hopefully we'll get, for another 5 minutes for sure. Now, I clicked on the Hey Vinton button. If you're not familiar with it, that's our, fun way to refer to Siri or Alexa, right? So you talk to your device. In this case, you talk to your Vinton and will automatically update your Salesforce. So the update that I'm actually bringing here is, I'm simulating that I just had a conversation after this previous video call with Catherine, and she mentioned that we should go ahead with the project, right? So I just hang up the phone maybe, and because some of the updates don't actually happen on a video call or on a recorded phone call. So
it's not recording, by the way.
I know it's not recording. So I want to click to record, and I'll just do 30 seconds. Okay, I just had a call with Catherine, and she was very excited to tell me that the CFO has approved the budget. So they want to go ahead with 200 licenses. So the estimated amount for that will be around 70,000, which is not bad. She also has a deadline in mind. She would like to see if we can actually get all finalized by mid-August. And she also mentioned if I could actually send those compliance documents. So I will ask Mina to help me with all things compliance, as she's the compliance queen. Right? So now what you're seeing, if you're familiar with an AI note taker, you know exactly what is happening. Now, a media file, be that a video from a video call, an audio from an audio in-person conversation, audio from a phone call, is being captured. It will be transcribed, and that will be used to create two things now. One is the AI note-taking part.
The transcript, the insights, all of that.
All of that you give for granted now with your co-pilots of the world and your Zoom AI. But really, interestingly, what we should see is that after the AI note taker has taken, it has done its process, which is done now, you can see now field agent is running, right? Which means that now field agent is interpreting the update and is actually creating some recommendations for me so that I can review them and go ahead and update my Salesforce with the new information. So just to show you, we have the transcript, we have the summary, very short summary, the follow-up. Hey, Catherine, great to talk to you. Next steps, laid out. I need to ask Mina. That's all. But now, importantly, field agent, as we said, now we have a few recommendations, and you can see that even if we look at the previous date, we have a new close date. I mentioned mid-August. The stage is actually moving, from the current value proposition, 50% is actually going to proposal. We now have an amount, and we have updates with relation to the budget, the timeline, all of that. I review it quickly. Let me see authority. Yes. Okay. So we still have, Catherine driving, but we now have, CFO. And Catherine is also coordinating for compliance. So everything looks good. New updated next steps for me. The description is also quite updated. We have now a champion. She's championing, but the CFO is now on the approval side, and we have. So this is all great. I think it's all ready to be approved. And I click on approve.
How easy and simple, though.
Exactly. I mean, this is kind of saving me a ton of time. It's keeping my Salesforce up to date. It has the human in the loop element. And I think you were making a point about consistency.
Exactly.
Which is so important, right? So do you want to, because you have a lot of conversations with our clients, and that's the most important thing that they love, really, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing that we all know, that everyone is using some form of AI to fill this information. Nobody's typing this anymore. Let's just admit that nobody's going to manually type in that anymore. So somebody somewhere is giving a prompt to Claude, to OpenAI, or to Gemini to fill these fields for you, right? So maybe they have,
if they bother. But let's say they do.
And then what it does is that you would have different language spoken across different opportunities. So as an admin, you would want
and not in terms of the language, like the accent.
No, as in some descriptions may be too long, or some descriptions may be too short.
Yes.
And anyway, so we want what this gives you is that it gives you the opportunity to make sure that the data that is updated in your CRM is consistent. So if I have to review, let's say 10 opportunities as a manager, I know that, okay, description, I have to read X amount of words that my admin has defined.
And I want to check, I want to make sure that these things are highlighted.
Exactly.
Right? So I want to have that consistency in length, format, language, as you said, tone, things that are highlighted. And this is, even the same question, asked to different LLMs will actually lead to different outputs, right? Even the same question asked to the same LLM on a different day will lead to right? Yeah. So that's why our clients love this element of consistency on top of everything else, right? So that the time saving, the consistency in the updates.
You don't have to go switch between 3 apps to give an update over here, you know?
Absolutely.
So you have a call, and right after the meeting, everything is ready for you. So you don't have to like copy the transcript, paste it somewhere else, get the updates. So that's a lot of manual work that the user has to do. So as a user, you save a lot of time in updating this data. And as an admin or as a manager, when you're reviewing, let's say 20 opportunities in a report, you know what fields to look like, and it's consistent, right? So how the description is appearing, how certain fields in your org.
Right. So we already went from user to manager, right? What you were saying, you know, that dashboard, that aggregated view across your organization, what's important, what's relevant. And then when you take it one level up, that's the, you know, conversations make Salesforce smarter.
Yes.
The smarter part has to do with what we're all doing and what we're all thinking and planning to do, which is plugging a big AI into our Salesforce, making sense of what's in there and helping us move forward and grow our business.
Absolutely.
So this information and the consistency of the data that is extracted, the consistency that reflects what a manager wants, what leadership wants to see, what the reporting elements are, how our processes are created and followed up on, that actually is the one thing that will help and will determine the success of future AI projects. There's no going around it, right? So if the data is there, if the data is in context, if the data is correct.
Correct. It's not AI. Only so. Previously, it was linked to the right opportunity. It was giving you the right data linked to the right records in Salesforce. Now we give you an opportunity to update those records as well. So you have all of that context together. So if you want to have a retrieval RAG sort of built on top of it, it's easier for you to do because the data is so much cleaner now. So you can build on top of that as well. So,
and why is that? And we go back to the beginning because this is a native solution. So we don't push data out to a different database. We don't have any interest in holding on to your data, in elaborating, you know, thoughts or you know, kind of holding you hostage into our database because you've pushed, you know, data into that, and now you've created this massive asset. And you need to maintain it, you need to kind of make sense of it, you need to try to connect it to your Salesforce, because ultimately you'll try to do that. No, we actually give you control, we give back your data to you, and we put them within the boundaries of your Salesforce. We follow your security and data model. We adhere to your, you know, strict retention rules, everything that you have in place, all the compliance.
We're here to serve.
Exactly. But that is the one determining factor that will create success for your future AI projects. Super exciting. And I think we are at time. So, well,
do we want to see if we have any questions or anything?
I don't know. Let me see. So this will create a bit of a zoom effect. So let me stop
from over
sharing screen, and we're back here.
No
it looks like no question, but maybe we're not looking in the right place. Today we don't have Catherine with us, so
who tells us what to do.
Exactly. Well, if you have any questions, you know, drop them in the comments below. If you're watching this after you know, the live is finished, well, thank you very much for watching you know, this much and this far into this. You know, we hope you found this useful. We started talking about how companies should approach AI note-taking and conversations in the era of AI and how important it is to put them in context. We then switched gears. We looked at conversations that make Salesforce smarter, and we actually showed it thanks to, you know, Mina and the work that all the team is doing to creating these opportunities that not only do the AI note-taking part, which we give for granted, but actually feeds data directly into your Salesforce and keeps your control over it. So human in the loop, recommendations, you go through it, you edit a couple of things, you push that on, and you know, job done.
So, and with that, our LinkedIn live comes to an end. It was lovely being here again. And if you have any questions, if you want to start, using Vinton, just reach out to either me or Luca.
Oh
and
yeah,
we'd
we're
be
open
happy
for
to help.
business. Even in the summer, we're definitely
Even in
open
the
for
summer.
business. We offer a free trial, and we love it when people discover the art of the possible with Vinton.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. And we end the stream.